Happy Thursday, you gorgeous lot. It is Thursday. It's also World Mental Health Day, and we're going to talk about stress because I know you guys are stressed. This is a topic that I'm constantly helping my clients out with, helping them manage. It's something that I deal with as a human being myself. So obviously I'm a personal trainer, but I do a hell of a lot of nutrition, lifestyle, mindset work. So this is definitely something that comes under the umbrella of health and fitness, and something that a lot of people are ignoring. Not me. Let's talk. So before we get into this, I want to create some language around stress. I want you to have an understanding of what I mean when I say stress, because sometimes you talk to people about their stress and they're like, no, I'm not stressed, I'm okay, I'm doing fine. And this is because, for them, stress has all these connotations of, executive stress and being stressed out. Whereas actually when I say stress, stress is a very good thing. I mean stress from, for example, your training. In training, we apply stress systematically in order to get a particular adaptation from your body. So stress under optimal conditions in the right amounts, very, very good thing. In fact, it's essential for our growth and development as people. Too little stress and you're not going anywhere, you're not learning anything, you're not becoming anything. So stress, very, very good. The problem comes when we have too much stress. So let's view your capacity for stress as this cup. So all of the stress that you can handle is represented by the size of this cup. Now, we all have cups of different shapes and sizes. Genetically, we're all beautiful, beautiful snowflakes. And you can change the shape of your cup, so it changes with age. It changes with training as well. You can train yourself to manage stress better. But let's assume that our capacity for stress is finite, and it's this. So you have to understand there are different types of stress that you can have in your life. There's environmental stress, so let's put in maybe pollutants from the air and the stress of living in a noisy environment, for example. Some stress goes into your cup that you just can't help. So there's wanted stress and then there's unwanted stress. Some examples of wanted stress might be your training. You apply stress in training, right? It could be that you're studying for something. You apply the stress and the adaptation is that you learn. It could be the stress that you're getting from work or from your relationships, whatever you got going on in life. There's mental, physical, and emotional stress. So mental stress might be study, physical stress might be training, emotional stress could be, something to do with the people that you're dealing with. In terms of managing your stress, the cup is a really beautiful analogy because it shows us that we need to have a contingency at the top. Let's imagine that a loved one goes into hospital, or there is a massive cock up at work and your job is on the line, something really, really terrible happens. If you're living in a place where your stress is constantly at the brim and you're already struggling to manage it, if something unexpected happens, you don't have room for that, right? So always keep a contingency. You have to understand that, too little is you're not going anywhere. You don't want it to be at the bottom. You want your stress to be somewhere in this range, somewhere in the middle, right? And assuming you're someone who is living with your coming up to the top of the glass, to the top of the cup, I'm going to give you two different strategies for helping you manage your stress. So one, in the first place, is managing what goes in. So yes, there is stuff that you can't control. I would say that more is in your control than you believe. You choose where you live in the world. You choose what you do with your day. Yeah, maybe you've got career aspirations, but is it worth it? So managing what goes in. And with that, it's just about making conscious decisions, So there are some things that you could be putting in your cup, such as a night out, drinking or taking drugs, whatever it is. Is it worth putting that stress in your cup if it's going to take away space that you could use for learning that thing, for training for that marathon, for working towards that promotion? Is it worth it? Making really, really conscious decisions about what your priorities are, knowing your priorities and staying aligned. There's knowing them and then there's taking action on them, right? So that's, managing what goes in. Then there are loads and loads of different ways that you can empty the cup. And I would categorize these as one, our kind of animal human needs, and two, one, our animal needs, and two, our human needs, our personal needs. So animal needs are sleep. You want to get enough of it and you want to get good enough quality sleep. That's another important thing. There's nutrition. Are you putting in foods that add to your stress because they're so difficult to digest and they're not very good for you? Or are you putting in really nourishing foods that are helping your body to work more efficiently? Then you've got your human needs. So another animal need, I would say, would be social time. We're very, very social creatures. Talking to people about it, or hanging out with people and not talking about it, just cutting loose. That is a really, really powerful way to deal with stress. I don't know if it's an animal or a human need, but personal time, taking the time to reflect, just spending some time by yourself can be really, really good. Meditation, mindfulness, amazing. It's been proven to work wonders for stress. Exercise is another big one. Go have some sex, hot baths, ice baths. There are so many different therapies out there, like aromatherapy, acupuncture, massage. When it comes to the animal stuff, you're an animal, you need sleep and food and social time. When it comes to the human stuff, it's whatever works for you is the best way to manage your stress. So it's this is how I program for my clients as well. You get to know a person, I get to know what kind of stress they have in their life, so I know how much room they've got in their cup for the training that I give them, and then I give them recovery stuff, like we talk about what therapies work for you, what do you like to do, write in your journal for 10 minutes, that kind of stuff. And it just means, if you're emptying the cup by journaling, there's more room for valuable things to go in there. So yeah, 2 ways: managing what goes in and then emptying the cup as much as you can. One note I'll add to that, something I noticed, particularly you guys who work in corporate jobs, a lot of people will, they'll be under stress all day, all week at work, and then in an attempt to unwind on the weekends or in the evenings or at lunchtime, whenever they can get a moment, they'll binge eat, they'll binge drink, they'll take drugs, they'll stay out all night. And although that stuff might be kind of mentally taking you away from that feeling of being stressed, you are adding physical stress to your body having to deal with all this stuff. So just being aware of, the stuff that I think de-stresses me may not actually be de-stressing me. It might just be taking my mind off it for a bit. So another example might be watching TV. It might take your mind off things to watch TV. It might take you to a different place, but are you watching it consciously and enjoying the cinematography and the colors and the characters and the story, or are you just kind of blankly watching it, and because you've had the screen on late at night, it's kept you up, and it's damaged your sleep? So another level of self-awareness there. Are you doing the right things, and are you doing things that maybe aren't working? So constantly making those assessments. And it's like, creating a program, what works, what doesn't, a little bit of trial and error. Help from a professional I would always recommend. So I'm going to leave you with 2 things, guys. 1, if you feel like you're drowning in stress, if you feel like you're really struggling with your stress, the first thing I've got to let you know is more is in your control than you think. Like, I talk to people all the time, again, particularly you guys in corporate jobs, and you're like, oh no, it doesn't work that way in my workplace, I have to do this, I have to do that. And from my perspective, I can see that, they're a human being, this is a big old world. If your job is making you so sick that you can't function, leave, find another one, there's another job. Same with your relationship. People and workplaces will have you believe that this is the most important thing, you must complete this project, otherwise you are not worth having around, you suck. And that's not true. Know your self-worth. It's about how you react to stress. People are always going to impose stress on you. You could sit in traffic and just be so angry and so pissed off about how late you're going to be and be really frustrated about it, or you can take a deep breath and accept that you can't do anything about it. At least you're going to get there in a better frame of mind. This is the difference between reacting to stress and responding to stress. So you can make a decision on whether or not you accept people putting stress into your cup, and that comes with knowing your self-worth and just being balanced and pausing to take breaths when you need to. And if you are struggling with stress, reach out to someone. Do not keep it to yourself, because 1, vocalizing a problem that seems huge in your head can, when you articulate it, solve the problem. And 2, if it really is a huge problem, at least you've got someone helping you. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with, head over to the link in my bio, guys. I created a free guide for you to download, and it's amazing. I'm super proud of it. Essentially, it outlines the 10 most basic foundations that you need to put into place in your life. They're super manageable to be healthy and to set you up for the future. So it's something absolutely everyone needs. It's totally universal. Go over, download it now. Thank you so much for watching.